Okay, good morning, class. Okay, we are here today to work together with a grammar lesson, and our today's grammar lesson will deal on conditionals. Conditionals. So you know that the conditionals of these lessons is a little bit difficult, but this is what we are going to deal with, which can help you use this conditional properly. So the general rule of the conditional is subject plus word plus verb. Subject plus word plus verb. This is a general rule for saying the conditional. All right. So we'll so the you have to know that in conditional we have four types. Four types. We have zero conditional, we have conditional type 1, conditional type 2, conditional type 3. But in this lesson, we'll deal on zero conditional and conditional type 1. All right, let's go. So zero conditional and zero conditional. Okay, this is what we are going to see, and then after we'll see conditional type 1. Okay, let's go. Zero conditional. When we want to talk about things that are always or general too. Okay, when we want to talk about things that are always something that are always, okay, something that are always, let us choose another color, something that are always something that are always or general too, or general too, we can use, what can we use? Okay, when we want to talk about things that are always or generally true, we can use if, when, or unless, plus a preposition, Okay, let me put this in another color. Okay, plus a preposition. Okay, this color to dark. Let me change it. I'm going to change this color because you can see it. Okay, plus a preposition, plus a present form, plus what? Plus present simple or imperative. Okay. If we want to talk about something that are always or generally true, we can use if plus present form and present simple or imperative, or when plus a present form and simple present or imperative, or unless plus present form or present simple or imperative. You see, very simple. Let's see some examples. If you press this button, you get black coffee. Okay, if you press this button, you get black coffee. Okay, you get black coffee. All right. Okay, if you press this button, you'll get black coffee. All right. When you fly budget airline, you don't expect to get anything to eat. When you fly budget airline, you don't expect to get anything to eat. All right, unless you need a lot of leg room. Don't pay the extra for first class. Unless you need a lot of leg room, don't pay the extra for first class. All right. Notice that we are talking about something which is generally true. Notice that you are talking about something which is generally true. Let me put it in red. Something which is generally true, and not a specific event. Okay, we are not talking about a specific event. Notice that we are talking about something which is generally true, not a specific event. All right. In the condition clause, there can be a variety of present forms. In the present, in the result clause, there can only be the present simple or imperative. There can only be the present simple or what? It can only be the present simple, simple present, or what? The imperative. Okay, we can use the imperative form here also. Okay, let's go with some examples. If you visit l'Européenne is in Burkina Faso. If you visit l'Européenne, you look for the spectacular architecture. Okay, if you visit l'Européenne, look out for the spectacular architecture. Alright, if an employment is rising, people tend to stay in their present jobs. If unemployment is rising, people tend to stay in their present jobs. You see? Alright, is rising. Okay, stay in the present job. If you finished, everything, go home. If you finish everything, go home. All right, you see our present tense. Okay. All right. Here let us put this way. Talking about the present. Okay, people do not stay in their present jobs. Okay, if you finished everything, go. If everything here is a what we call imperative form, go home. When you go to Dori, take plenty of sun. When you go to Dori, take plenty of sun. Here is what called is the imperative form. Okay, take plenty of sunscreen, right? When I'm working, please be quiet. When I'm working, please be quiet. Be quiet. All right. To be quiet. Okay, please be quiet. When I'm working, please be quiet. All right. And when I've written a new article, I run it through my spell checker. When I've written a new article, I run it through my spell checker. That's normal. All right. Notice that unless means the same as if not. Notice that unless means the same as if not. Unless he asks you to continue. Stop all work on the project. Unless he asks you to continue. Stop all work on the project. You see? Unless interest rates are rising, it's not a good investment. Unless interest rates are rising, it's not a good investment. Unless you've been to Ouagadougou, or unless you've been to Ouagadougou 2000 yourself, you don't really understand how fantastic it is. Unless you've been to Ouagadougou yourself, you don't really understand how fantastic it is. But here in Burkina Faso, the Burkina Faso people were called Ouagadougou. All right, you can say unless you've been to Ouagadougou yourself, you don't really understand how fantastic it is. You see, dealing the first part, it is very simple. The first part is the zero conditional. That's very simple. So let's move on. The condition type 1. Let's move on to condition type 1. All right. Condition type 1. Okay, I have made a board here. You can see the chart. Okay, main clause. I have written it above. You can see MC. You can see MC. All right. And the future tense, and if clause in the present tense, I have written above I see. All right, we use the first conditional. We use the first conditional to talk about. We use the first conditional to talk about what? Future event. All right. We use the first conditional. Let me put it in red. Okay, we use this to talk about future events that are likely to happen. All right. Example: if we take John, he'll be really pleased. If we take John, he'll be really pleased. If you give me some money, I'll pay you back tomorrow. If you give me some money, I'll pay you back tomorrow. If they tell us they want it, we'll have to give it to them. If they tell us they want it, we'll have to give it to them. All right. If Mary comes, she'll want to drive. If Mary comes, she'll want to drive. You see, very simple if you apply the rule. All right. The if clause can be used with different present form. All right. The if clause can be used with different present forms. All right. If I go, you see here. If I go to Ouagadougou again, I'll buy you a present from the capital. If I go to Ouagadougou again, I'll buy you a present from the capital. Okay, if I go to Ouagadougou again, I'll buy you a present from the capital. All right. If he's feeling better, he'll come. If he's feeling better, he'll come. Or if he's feeling better, he'll come. You see, very simple. If she hasn't heard the bad news yet, I'll tell her. If she hasn't heard the bad news yet, I'll tell her. Alright, very simple. Now, the future clause can contain going to. You see here, going to. Or the future perfect as well as will. The future perfect as well as will. If I see him, I'm going. If I see him, I'm going. Okay. If I see him, I'm going to tell him exactly how angry I am. If I see him, I'm going to tell him exactly how angry I am. You see? Now, we go ahead with another example. If we don't get the contract, we'll have, alright? We'll have to waste. Okay? We'll have to waste. If they get a contract, we'll have to waste. If we get the contractor, we'll have to waste. All right. You see, if we don't get the contract, we'll have wasted a lot of time and money. If we don't get the contract, we'll have wasted a lot of time and money. Okay, and we are going to finish with this first part. The future clause can also contain other modal verbs. Modal verbs, you will ask me what are modal verbs. Okay, that we have seen it. Okay. The future clause can also contain other modal verbs such as can and must. If you go to New York, you must. If you go to New York, you must have the cheesecake in Lindy's. All right. If he comes, you can get a lift home with him. If he comes, you can get a lift home with him. Okay, see, very simple. So let us recap what I have just said. So we have started dealing with the conditionals, and I have told you that we'll see the two parts: zero conditional and the conditional first type. All right. So we have said that generally, if you want to use the conditional the rule is subject plus would plus verb. Subject plus would plus verb. This is the general rule dealing with the conditional. Alright, and after this zero conditional, where when you want to talk about the zero conditional, you have to think that we are talking about something which is always true or generally true. Alright, and this you can use if, when, or unless plus present form plus the present simple or imperative. Okay, I have given more example about it. And the second condition is first conditional. And the first conditional, okay, here we are. We use it to talk about the future events and that are likely to happen. We have given you more examples about the first conditional. So we'll stop here, and the coming lesson will deal on the second conditional and the third conditional. Bye for now.